Now, we've convened a special panel tonight because we have questions on a few different topics. Dr. Zane Chagla and Dr. Lisa Barrett, two infectious diseases specialists, joining us now. And Dr. Chagla, maybe we'll start with Sputnik, since that's what we're talking about here. My understanding is that it's based on the same technology as the AstraZeneca vaccine, but seems on early results to be noticeably more effective. I mean, why would that be?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of controversy with this vaccine and how it's been studied and the transparency of the data. So all of this has to be taken with a grain of salt. If truly there is a difference between the two vaccines, there may be a biologic plausibility to this. This uses an adenovirus-based vector. So it tries to use a chimpanzee adenovirus that really doesn't do anything in the human host to inject the genetic code to then start making the protein. The problem with this vaccine is if the body makes too much of a response to the adenovirus, it doesn't go through all those other steps to make immunity. What the Russians may have done is used a different strain for the initial dose and the booster dose to kind of counteract that effect so that the body sees something naive each time. So there might be a biologic reason why this vaccine is a bit different than the AstraZeneca vaccine. But again, it may all be just related to data and that analysis too.
Right. So with the same caveat that we haven't seen any of the raw data really with any of the vaccine trials so far. So we're only basing this on what the various companies tell us. You think the results here are plausible?
There's a biologic reason technically, and this is the Achilles heel with this vaccine. And hopefully if this is the real reason, it could be applied even to the Oxford vaccine moving forward.
Let's switch gears to rapid testing. Dr. Barrett, you're in Halifax, but where exactly and doing what?
We are out and about at a campus in the community that we set up today at around 1 o'clock to reach out to people who do not have any COVID symptoms, general members of the community, to offer them a rapid COVID test. And we've been doing that since 1 o'clock. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening, and we've had just over 500 people stream by today to get a rapid test.
And I guess the important point here being the one you just mentioned, that you're trying to capture particular people that conventional testing perhaps wouldn't.
Right. In most parts of Canada right now, the gold standard test has to be done in a laboratory, and that means taking up healthcare resources, which in many places are at their limit. And so most places are not reaching out to people without symptoms in a virus where we know spread happens when people don't have symptoms. We're reaching out to exactly that population to find out if people are positive, find them early, because we really are at a point where we could go one of two ways in Nova Scotia: massively increase tests or keep it under control.
And what kind of results have you gotten so far? I mean, you mentioned hundreds of people that you've tested.
Right. So we're still tabulating the results for tonight. We literally have not pulled that together. But when we did this at another site on Saturday night, we had 147 people. One person was positive. Again, all people without any symptoms at all. And this one person that we identified as positive, that turns out to a 0.8% rate. Doesn't sound like a lot until you realize if 0.8% of people are walking around with no symptoms, they're spreading to other people. So it was a good catch. They lived with a bunch of other people, and we were able to tell them to isolate early, even before they had symptoms. So we're hoping to do the same thing this evening and then to roll this out around the province over the next week or two.
That is very interesting. Last topic here, the announcement from Canada's Prime Minister today on a deal for a new treatment option for COVID.
We need access to as many potential vaccines and treatments as possible. Today, I can announce that we've signed a deal to secure up to 26,000 doses of a therapeutic drug from Eli Lilly, with options for thousands more.
Dr. Barrett, what can this drug do?
Well, it's an antibody, and it's meant to act as if you'd had a vaccine and make your body respond in a way that limits viral spread. It's most useful, most likely, very early in infection, so people with mild or early moderate disease. And in those people, we're looking for a subgroup of folks who may go on to develop more severe disease. So people who may be older, have a high body mass index, those who have immune compromise or underlying respiratory disease. So right now, our toolbox around therapeutics in that domain is not full, and this offers at least some option for those people to have a therapeutic that might prevent them from going on to develop more severe disease.
And Dr. Chagla, the last word to you. I mean, and you know, taking what Dr. Barrett has said into account in terms of the way this drug might be used, in your mind, is this a game changer? Does this dramatically change the landscape? What does it do?
I mean, the results that have come out around this drug are still very early. I think there may be some roles for this in very high risk individuals, but really has to be balanced against some of the logistics of rolling it out. Hopefully there's more experience that gets gained with this over time as the company finishes its trial in the United States too. We get a better sense of who really needs this drug and what the systemic effects from a hospital utilization standpoint are going to be from this.
Doctors, I always love having the chance to talk to you both. Dr. Chagla, Dr. Barrett, thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem.